Jai Sri Ram, welcome everybody. Welcome to Bharat Marg. Dr. Adityanjee, welcome to Bharat Marg. आपके लिए बहुत बहुत स्वागत. You know, it's an incredible day today, and we will be discussing regarding uh, Middle East, essentially Hindu Rashtra in Modi style. Okay, Dr. Adityanjee has done more on the Saudi Arabia itself in specific. You can watch it if you didn't already in Dr. Adityanjee answers in the playlist. You will be able to see in Bharat Marg all his videos. But today let's talk about how Modi ji approaches and what is the secret, how he is putting together the Muslim power, Hindu, kind of what people never expected from Modi ji. What is really happening? Let's understand from Adityan ji. But before going further, friends, please make sure to like the video, comment on the video, share the video with as many people as you can. And we, you know, now we also teach Sanskrit. We also take people for private luxury trips for pilgrimage only. And if you are interested in any of these things, you can contact us. And also, we send out one dharmic message every day in multiple languages for you to get it in your phone. You can send it to +16479644790, your WhatsApp, and you can get it. Okay, but make sure to subscribe the channel and also press the notification bell to stay connected, because I just want to make sure to you know that I'll be traveling a lot and our live sessions will not be right in time. ये अपना live session जो है वो सही समय में नहीं होगा, क्योंकि अब अपना बहुत सारा शूट होने वाला है. ये इलेक्शन तक ऐसा ही होगा. ओके, इसलिए प्लीज फ्रेंड्स, when make sure to subscribe the channel and press the notification bell so that whenever we go live, whenever possible, you can come and join us. Okay, that's the whole idea. Dr. Adityan ji, welcome. स्वागतम आपके लिए. You know,
नमस्कार भारत मंच का
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Dr. Sab, our topic today is very unexpected. Middle East, Hindu Rashtra in Modi style. पहले जब मोदी जी आए थे, ये बोला गया कि उनको फॉरेन एक्सपीरियंस का, फॉरेन अफेयर्स का एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, बहुत सारा देश उनको बैन किया गया. You know all those things. You know, so he was not even fit to be a prime minister. And from there, he is putting together a coalition that shakes the world politics all together. क्या हो रहा है मिडिल ईस्ट में, क्या हो रहा है इन स्पेसिफिक, आप जरा बताइए, हमें समझाइए प्लीज.
देखिए, जो आपने जो वर्णन किया, जब मोदी जी आए थे तो वो गुजरात के मुख्यमंत्री थे, का विदेश नीति से कोई सरोकार नहीं था, कोई अनुभव नहीं था. तो आरंभ में ऐसा कहा गया था कि मोदी जी को विदेश नीति की कुछ समझ नहीं है, वो मुस्लिम राष्ट्रों से हमारे संबंध बिगाड़ रहे हैं, कोई मुस्लिम राष्ट्रों ने कहीं भ्रमण नहीं किया या प्रवास नहीं किया, ऐसा कहा गया था पहले 1 साल में. और जहां तक प्रधानमंत्री होने की पात्रता है, वो तो भारत में जनता निश्चित करती है कौन बनेगा प्रधानमंत्री. उसका कोई चयन समिति नहीं होती, जनता होती है, वो चयन करती है कि कौन बन सकता है, कौन नहीं बन सकता. तो उस बारे में भी मैं कुछ नहीं कहना चाहूँगा, इसके सिवा कि जनता जनार्दन है. जनता जो निर्णय लेती है वो शिरोधार्य होना चाहिए. और इस तरह की कोई अगर टिप्पणी करता है तो वह उनकी सोच का प्रतिबिंब है. जो पश्चिम एशिया में हो रहा है वो भारत के लिए बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है. पिछले 10 वर्षों में पश्चिम एशिया के राष्ट्रों की विदेश नीति में परिवर्तन आ रहा है, और उनकी विदेश नीति में परिवर्तन भारत की आंतरिक, राजनैतिक और विदेश नीति के परिवर्तन का प्रतीक है। जब भारत सशक्त बन रहा है और भारत पूरे विश्व में एक शक्ति के रूप में, चाहे वो आध्यात्मिक शक्ति हो, सांस्कृतिक शक्ति हो या महाशक्ति हो, भारत उभर रहा है और पश्चिमी एशिया के राष्ट्र इस सत्य को स्वीकार कर रहे हैं। उसमें थोड़ा समय जरूर लगा। जिस तरह से कूटनीति और भू राजनीति का केंद्र यूरोप से बदलकर इस समय एशिया में हो गया है, एशिया में भी जो उसका केंद्र बिंदु है वो धीरे धीरे भारत की तरफ चल रहा है। तो चाहे सऊदी अरब हो या यूनाइटेड अरब अमीरात हो, दोनों उन देशों के भारत से अच्छे संबंध हैं। दोनों देश ये सुन्नी देश हैं। दूसरी तरफ से भारत के ईरान से भी अच्छे संबंध हैं, भारत के ओमान से भी अच्छे संबंध हैं। कतर से थोड़ी तकलीफ थी। कतर की अपनी राजनीति है और 2-3 ऐसे हादसे हुए, 2-3 ऐसी घटनाएं हुई जिसमें कतर ने भारत के विरुद्ध काम किया था। सबसे पहले कतर का एक समाचार पत्र या माध्यम है अल जजीरा। अल जजीरा को जो पैसा मिलता है वो कतर की राज जो परिवार है उसकी तरफ से मिलता है। और अल जजीरा जो है वो कतर के अंदरूनी मामलों में कोई टिप्पणी नहीं करता, लेकिन वो पूरे विश्व के राष्ट्रों पर टिप्पणी करते हैं, खासतौर से भारत पर विशेषतया। और उनकी जो नीतियां हैं वो मुस्लिम राष्ट्रों के अनुकूल हैं और उसमें कभी-कभी भारत की आलोचना जो होती है उससे उनकी जो मानसिक दशा है उसके बारे में जानकारी मिलती है कि वो भारत के प्रति कितने बायस्ड हैं या भारत की संस्कृति जो कि सनातन संस्कृति है उसकी कड़ी आलोचना करते हैं बिना किसी आधार के। तो आपको शायद याद दिलाना जरूरी नहीं है कि अयातुल्ला खुमैनी ने एक फतवा दिया था। वो फतवा था, वो एक पुस्तक लिखी गई थी जो नाम थी मिडनाइट स्टिल। तो अयातुल्ला खुमैनी ने मृत्युदंड दिया था इस फतवे के द्वारा सलमान रुश्दी को। और उसका कारण ये था कि भारत ने सबसे पहले उस पुस्तक को निबंधित कर दिया था, उस पे बैन लगा दिया था सरकार ने। राजीव गांधी की सरकार थी उस समय। इसी प्रकार कतर की सरकार ने एक भगिनी थी नुपुर शर्मा, उनके खिलाफ फतवा जारी किया था। मेरे विचार से ये भारत के अंदरूनी मामले में एक हस्तक्षेप था जो उन्हें नहीं करना चाहिए था। और उस विषय में भारत सरकार ने सशक्त प्रहार नहीं किया था, उनका तुष्टीकरण किया था और यह सही नहीं था, क्योंकि बिना किसी कारणवश नुपुर शर्मा को अपने सार्वजनिक जीवन से संन्यास लेना पड़ा। 1.5-2 साल उनके ऊपर आक्रमण से हुए, उनकी सुरक्षा के ऊपर घात हुए। ये कतर की सरकार और भारत के कुछ, जिनको फैक्ट बोलते हैं, जो वास्तव में सत्य को धूमिल कर देते हैं, उनके बीच में कुछ करार लग रहा था, उस वजह से हुआ था। आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, कहिए।
डॉक्टर साहब, एक्चुअली आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन। ओके, ये एक जमाना जैसा आप बोल रहे थे कि वैसा था कि नुपुर शर्मा के ऊपर कुछ टिप्पणी कर दिया कतर ने, मतलब उनका उस वक्त वेंकैया नायडू उधर थे, उनका डिनर कैंसल हुआ, ये सब हुआ,
हाँ।
वाइस प्रेसिडेंट का। मगर आज 2 साल के बाद ऐसा स्थिति है, बिंदास आफ्टर राम जन्मभूमि इनाग्रेशन, मोदी जी मिडिल ईस्ट जा रहे हैं। पहले लग रहा था 2 साल पहले डरे हुए थे, वर्सेस अब लग रहा है कि ये एकदम बिंदास जाना। और ये जो 8 लोगों को बाहर निकाला, मगर उनके लिए बहुत पेमेंट किया गया। ये बोलते हैं कि in billions the gas purchase was made to release them, मगर जैसा पहले डरा हुआ गवर्नमेंट लग रहा था, ये 2 साल में ऐसा लग रहा है कि he is walking like a lion, और उसको देश स्वीकार, मतलब दुनिया स्वीकार करती है। ये क्या बदलाव है, कैसा, आप कैसा देख रहे हैं?
Well, I said in the beginning that India is rising, India is getting stronger, India's comprehensive national strength is increasing, and that is very much apparent to West Asian countries, including Qatar. The way India was able to get release of Abhinandan Vardhaman from Pakistan, I think that's very clear to everyone. In the case of Qatar, those former Navy personnel, they had been under arrest since August of 2022. They were in solitary confinement. And initially, Qatar government did not cooperate with government of India. In fact, the consular access, which is a right of any citizen arrested in a different country, approved and allowed by the international law, was not provided. Consular access to India was provided for the first time on October 1st, 2022. And in the third week of October 2022, a death sentence was pronounced. 2023, a death sentence was pronounced. And then the appeal was made. And I think December of 2023, the death sentences were commuted to long jail sentences. What happened after that the government went into an overdrive. So yes, things were done confidentially, and the government of the day used what is called Sam Dam Dandabhed. All the tools in the diplomatic toolkit that were available to government of India, including renewal of contract for LNG supply for another 20 years, which benefits Qatar to the tune of $78 billion, but at a discounted price, so that India saved actually $6 billion by coming to that agreement. Now that was the carrot given to government of Qatar. that you behave, otherwise you will probably not get this renewal of contract. Also, my understanding is that there was diplomatic pressure on government of Qatar using the channels of Iran.
But they put the pressure only for this reason, right, Dr. Saab? They wanted that order.
Yes, because it's your own, citizens who have been unjustly, because the government of Qatar never, made public what were the charges. And my understanding is that government at multiple levels was involved. The NSA was involved with Qatar's NSA, and they had the intelligence that these 8 people had not indulged in any espionage or transfer of information to Israel, as was allegedly stated. These people were actually invited to train Qatari naval personnel into running, purchasing, and training in use of submarines that were being built for Qatar by an Italian company, uh, Fincantera or something like that. These were small submarines. And actually, prior to that, it is also said that Qatar government wanted Indian Navy personnel, actually active service personnel, to come and train Qatari naval personnel, and that government to government deal could not happen. So this was the first time that former Indian service persons were contracted by a private Omani owned company in Qatar. Now, when these 8 people were arrested, the owner of the company, who was a former Air Force officer of Oman, he was also arrested. He was also put in solitary confinement, but after 2 months he was released. No charges were pressed against him. So there was some superpower play. Who helps all these West Asian countries? I don't need to answer that question. This is the first time an Indian, let's say, private sector individuals were involved in training of military personnel of a Middle Eastern country. That country happens to be a major non-NATO ally of United States. United States has a base worth $1 billion in Qatar, Al Udeid base, and there are 9,000 US service personnel who were there. Qatar also has a base for United Kingdom. They also have an air base for Australia, and they have a base for Turkey or Turkey. So Qatar has been playing in the international arena on all the fronts. Qatar has been supporting terrorist organizations like Hamas that have a headquarters there. Even Afghan Taliban had headquarters in Qatar. Qatar has been able to bribe other countries. Qatar was able to bribe FIFA in order to have World Cup for 2022 staged in Qatar. And in the pre-run of that World Cup, 8,000 immigrant workers died while constructing the stadiums. And in fact, 2,000 Nepalese Hindu labor persons, they died actually in Qatar. So Qatar's hands are not clean. Qatar has been punching way above its weight because of its wealth and its alliance with United States. And since we do not know what the charges were, they were never made public. And the fact that Qatar was forced to release these people gives you a suggestion that some of these charges were trumped up. Even Canada is saying that Indian intelligence operatives are working in their country. United States is making that allegation. Pakistan is making that allegation. So it may have been a part of that particular trend. There are intelligence agencies of all the countries that are accusing other countries of undue interference. But bottom line is that government of the day, government of India, took a very proactive, consistent stand without making any noise publicly. It was all done confidentially, and it led to release of these people. And this resulted in a reward to Qatar that Prime Minister Modi visited Qatar on February 14th. He had met with Qatar's Emir in Dubai in December of 2023 during COP28 meeting, and I'm pretty sure during the bilateral meeting this issue was discussed. India is not a small country. India has a strategic reach. We have aircraft carriers, formations. We have Agni 5 missiles. I'm pretty sure Qatar knows all that. In order to carry out that death sentence, Qatar would have to face the wrath of India's might. Were they prepared for it? Probably not. And that's why they buckled up and released these former 8 naval personnel. And superficially, the relationship is good between these two countries. But from a future perspective, I think India will have to keep a watch on Qatar, how Qatar behaves in future, because the past experience is the only predictor of the future behavior. And in 2, 3 instances, Qatar has not behaved properly. Qatar has 8 lakh Indian citizens working in that country. The population of that country is 2.4 million, out of which only 11% are official citizens. So Qatar is reliant on Indian personnel, whether for labor, whether for services, whether for consultancy. And if Qatar feels that they can use those people as hostages, they are mistaken because India has changed.
And how do you see the temple politics in Middle East by Modi government? And
So
now I'm hearing many more temples are going to crop up in the Middle East.
I think that reality, this particular temple is a BAPS, Swaminarayan Sanstha's temple. And Swaminarayan Sanstha had good relationship with the rulers of UAE after the Pran Pratishtha ceremony of Ram Janmabhoomi temple. This temple was inaugurated and Prime Minister Modi was invited officially to do that. So that was more, you know, not a government of India project. That was a project of BAPS, Swaminarayan Sansthan. And I think it reflects that UAE has changed in the current international scenario because in most of the Islamic countries, religious places of other sects or religions are not allowed. So that is a departure from that norm. And I think that departure is an acknowledgement by the ruling family of UAE that look, you cannot live in your narrow wells. If you have to deal internationally, you will have to respect human rights and other religious opinions, especially when you have a large population of expatriates in your country. So, yes, it opens the visa for starting and opening temples in countries in West Asia that have traditionally prevented, even like, praying at home, a prayer meeting at home in countries like Saudi Arabia, people were arrested for praying at home because it did not conform to Islamic norms. So we do expect that situation will change and West Asian countries will start honoring the pluralistic traditions and display some tolerance rather than adhere to a medieval type of behavior, tribal behavior.
Absolutely. Now it is said that in South Africa, Saudi Arabia, is one of the country. Saudi Arabia is the largest seller of Bhagavad Gita in that region. How do you see that?
Saudi Arabia is undergoing internal reforms. There's no revolution. The House of Saud has more than 1,000 princes, and the current crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, who is the son of the current king, King Salman bin Khalid, he has brought internal structural reforms. He has realized that the oil is not going to last forever. Oil is a limited quantity. Whatever money they have made from oil will last for some period of time. After that, it'll be gone. So they are trying to develop other areas of their economy. They are also reforming the internal society. Women were given right to drive, which was a new beginning in 2018. Initially foreign women, and then uh, Saudi Arabian women if they had somebody sitting next to them in the car. So that's a big change for Saudi Arabia. If you know that Saudi Arabia has also banned the loudspeakers on the mosques on the grounds of noise pollution, Saudi Arabia has, I think this needs to be confirmed, but speculation is that Saudi Arabia is no longer funding the jihadi organizations abroad as they used to do, because they realize that the first target of these jihadi organizations domestically in Saudi Arabia would be Saudi royal family. Saudi royal family had a compact with a fundamentalist sect of Islam called Wahhabism or Salafism. Wahhabism is a part of Salafism movement. And for almost 200 years, this pact actually was like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Wahhabi House of Wahhab, the religious sect, supported House of Saud, lock, stock, and barrel, in recognition for their religious supremacy. And I think that is going away. In fact, if you see Saudi Arabian government, especially Prince Mohammed bin Salman, has said that now they will allow the worship and honoring of three pre-Islamic deities. And they are, I think, Allah, Al-Manna, and there's one more. These were three goddesses in the pre-Islamic Saudi Arabia. And apparently, they were considered the daughters of the moon god in pagan Saudi Arabia, which was more close to Sanatan Dharma. The reach of Sanatan was there in Saudi Arabia. So for Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia to allow worship of these three deities is a significant change, and it's reflective of what is to come. So from a tribal, fundamentalistic, Sunni Wahhabi version of Islam, the current crown prince is going more towards tolerating other religious viewpoints, accepting the divinity of other deities. Because in Saudi Arabia, it was said before Islam, it was all, ignorance. It was all jahaliyat. Now, if you are honoring your pre-Islamic deities, that's a big departure from the current thinking. So Saudi Arabia is gradually de-radicalizing and becoming a more responsible part of the International Committee of Nations, because they knew that if they don't do, the ruling party itself would be under danger of jihadi violence. I can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself. You need to
Uh,
unmute yourself.
Dr. Saab, I have my last question to you. We are just over the time. Uh, how do you see this? Now, Modi ji is making some very bold foreign policy in Middle East, but he is not a spring chicken either. Maybe another 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, how do you see the generational shift will affect this one um, foreign policy things, and especially in Middle East?
So, not even in Middle East, I would say the sleeping lion has been awakened. We are seeing a renaissance of Bharat. I think, yes, if Mr. Modi wins the third term, by the time he finishes his third term, he would be in late 70s. But Bharat is a big, strong, vibrant nation, and Bharat is not the nation that was 25 years ago. There's a lot of awakening. I'm pretty sure there'll be a second rung of leadership that will come. The changes that are happening in Bharat are irreversible. And as I said, that Bharat is going towards becoming a major player in the international arena, whether it is knowledge-based economy, whether it is cultural, spiritual awakening, or whether it is strategic issues. Let's say 20th, 21st century is Asian century, is emerging as Asian century. And in this Asian century, Bharat has the maximum part to play. And that's the reality nobody can change, even if Prime Minister Modi is no longer on the scene. I'm pretty sure there'll be other players, there'll be other leaders who will carry on the tradition, who will carry on the influence of Bharat internationally.
Absolutely. Dr. Saab, thank you very much for coming inside and pouring your heart as always you do. Appreciate it very highly. And it's a lot of information you have given. And friends, I am saying you, if you want to see Dr. Adityanjee's video, you can go to our playlist to see Dr. Adityanjee answers. And he talks on, he's an expert and talks on foreign policy. And Dr. Saab, thank you very much for joining us and
Thank you
appreciate it.
very much, Sundar Bhai. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And let's continue to hope well for Bharat.
Absolutely. Jai Sri Ram. Jai Jai Sri Ram. Friends, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment on the video, and share the video. Looking forward to see